Okay, hello for a hello. Uh, I'm going to be doing a Stampscapes website gallery tour. Okay, I just found out this this software can show desktops as well as the picture-in-picture, so I thought I would keep it on that setting for right now and do a little tour of this gallery section of the website. I hadn't looked through this gallery section in quite some time, and I was just doing a general Stampscapes tour yesterday, and I thought, oh, there's a lot of these scenes in here that I haven't looked at in a while, so I thought I would take a look at it. Let me see here. Let's see, where is the message window on this? I kind of closed that up yesterday when I was just doing a record only. And I need to find it. Comments and reactions. There we go. Hello, Don. Hello, Beth. Good to see you. I'm not doing any scene right now, but I thought I would just keep my setting on, this desktop type of application here, and I would just go through some different gallery editions here on the Stampscapes website and talk about them. Okay, I haven't looked through here in quite some time. Hello, Andy, and hello, Janet. Good to see you. But anyways, on the Stampscapes website, hello, Sandy. Good to see you again. Karin? Oh, Karin, all the way from Denmark. Good to see you. What time is it there? Hello, Meg. Let me know if any of you are in the Stampscapes gallery, okay? The gallery, I haven't added anything to this in years now because everyone can easily post their own, blogs and whatnot. And this is something that we started back in the late 90s, and it was probably fairly active until maybe the teens or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Hello, Don, Liz, and CM Hawkins. Good to see you. I'd like to see if you were on there, and because you'd been going on the Stampscapes website for a while, but I didn't see you. But anyways. Going down on this gallery right here, I thought I would just point out some different people here that had really distinctive techniques or whatever, or I don't know, maybe they were teachers in the Stampscapes line. Here's Pat Anderson right here, and you can see she had several different galleries here. Let me see. I need two different monitors for doing something like this here. But let's see here. Let's go to Pat Anderson right here. Okay, now Pat Anderson, if I didn't mention, if you guys just logged on, I'm just kind of doing a Stampscapes website gallery tour here. And I kind of point out some different people, that have made some pretty significant contributions to this gallery in the past. But this is Pat Anderson right here. And look at this wall here. Pat, she worked in smaller sizes, but she was one of those first people I don't know, it seemed like a lot of her pieces got to be 8.5 by 11, full-size pieces. I don't know, what does it say here? 8 by 10s. I don't know, maybe that's what she framed it off to be or something like that, but I thought they were full-size pieces. But that's I used to call it, that was her wall of power there. 2:15 at night. Thanks for joining in, Karin. I should be sleeping now. Just leave this on, and my voice will put you to sleep, put you comatose. Hello, Debbie. Debbie, you're finally here, catching a live. I'm just doing a tour this time, though, so not of a scene creation here. But I wanted to point out some of these pieces right here. I'm always talking about and doing my own scenes in my, these videos right here. But there's there's probably 15,000 scenes up in the Stampscapes gallery section right here. I don't know if these are two of the same shots right here. Pat was doing a ton of scenes back when. And here is a couple different shots that she sent me, but floor to ceiling, right? I don't know if they ever, transition to the ceiling, but you never know. But look at that. there are so many scenes. Pat used to teach at a store in Connecticut. I can't remember the name, but I met her once going to, if anyone's from Connecticut here and has been stamping a while, there used to be this event where about 5 different stores got together, and then they would have, like 5 different instructors come in. And what we would do is we would teach at one store, and then the next day we would go to the next store, and we would rotate around like that. I forgot what event it was, but it was kind of cool that the stores were working together that way. And Pat was the instructor for one of the stores already. I didn't need to teach there. I mean, she was a more than adequate teacher there. But see, there's right here, Pat Anderson. Look at all these things. And look at this picture trail. Does anyone remember Picture Trail? That was one of the big online, personal gallery types of things that a lot of stampers were posting their pieces on. And my gosh, I don't know what happened to them, but they were the big player in terms of that kind of sector, and they were gone. But I think you used to be able to add like songs and music to your picture trail, because I used to click on that and you'd get that kind of little kind of computery sounding music going on. But see this, I need to go into the gallery section and remove those picture trail things, because they're completely inactive now. It wasn't sold and whatnot. Yeah, Don, you had Picture Trail. You remember that, huh? It was great, wasn't it, though? Everyone had their pieces up there, and I was really glad because I could just link to someone's picture trail instead of adding every individual scene, making the thumbnails, manually, and adding it to the gallery. I was more than happy to do that, but it was really easy to do it on just via a link there. But let's see here. We have the Angel Art Rubber Stamp Gallery. This is someone that owned a rubber stamp store in Georgia where I taught. She was the one that taught me how to do. Does anyone know what a Soot Card is? Okay, it's where you have some kind of like a oil lamp or something that would add a lot of kind of like sooty ash via the top of the flame. You got to be careful that you don't light your, piece of like cardstock on fire. But they would add, they would have like this oil lamp, and they would kind of put it over the top. And some of those oil lamps are real kind of smoky, and they would add soot to the surface of some glossy cardstock, right? And it wasn't burned, it was just soot all over that. And then you would take a stamp and you would clean it off, and then you would stamp into the soot and then remove it, and you'd have this negative impression within the soot. It looked really cool and antique. And a lot of times what they would do is they would burn the edges of their card. You got to put it out real fast. Hello, Beverly. And you have a really cool technique, and of course you have to spray seal it. So that was really fun. And I have yet to get a oil lamp. I don't know. I think I had one in my Amazon cart at one time, but I didn't pull the trigger. But that was really cool. But what I've done is with the foil types of papers and the Brilliance ink, I've done my incarnation of soot stamping by just applying some of that Brilliance ink down on this foil surface, stamping into it, and removing it. So I call that kind of the reverse impression technique. You can also do that on glossy cardstock too, but it was really cool with the soot though. And, it didn't damage the stamps at all or anything like that, or, it was really cool to do, and it had a real cool look to it. C.M. Hawkins remembers the soot stamping. Debbie, you've tried soot stamps, or soot cards. Awesome. Now, what, you tried it. Did you like it, or, yeah, candle in a jar. Right. I don't know. I need to try it. I know some flames are just too clean. You just don't get the soot from it. But yeah, I should try. I don't think you can do it with like one of those little tiny ones. But you have to have that certain type of wax, right? But I don't know. I need to get back and try it again. Hello, Diana. Good to see you. Carrie Osdahl right here, going and down this line right here. I'm not going to go into all these. Like I said, there's 20,000 plus files on the Stampscapes website, and probably 15,000 of them are in this gallery section, but Carrie Osdal used to be the distributor for Stampscapes in the Netherlands, okay, before De Stempewinkel. I'm not pronouncing that right or anything like that, but Carrie, or Kari, but look at this right here, Et Trik. I'm not pronouncing that correctly here, but Norwegian Stamping and Scrapping article on Stampscapes right here, but here's the cover of this magazine. She got the cover story, I kind of forgot. I might have a copy of that. She might have sent me that one or something like that. But look at these card pieces right here. Now, a lot of the pieces in this gallery section are going to be on glossy cardstock. I was just talking with someone in the United Kingdom about how they couldn't find glossy cardstock. But back then, this was like, let me see what date this was from. 2003. Now that's non-glossy cardstock right there, but it wasn't hard for people to find it back then. Debbie didn't like the soot cards. I like the soot cards with certain types of stamps, like old rustic buildings. It looked really great for that. It didn't look like a sepia tone card or anything like that, but it had a real distinctive antique look to that. So power goes off and it comes in hand. Oh, the oil lamps. Got it. But yeah, I don't know. It used to be much easier to find glossy cardstock. I'm sure like some of these, like this one right here is on glossy. And, Kari moved to Norway, but she was in the Netherlands before that. But yeah, I don't know. If any of you are overseas, international, whatever, even Canada, I don't know, drop me a note sometime, an email about where you access things like cardstocks, especially glossy or the semi-gloss, like a silk weight or something like that, because I have a hard time finding that type of thing now. But that would be good to know. Sheila Bacon right here. She used to own a store in Maine. I was just talking with someone about Maine in a previous online video here, but live stream. Silver Fox Stamps, I think. I think she was the owner for that one. Debbie Beals, she's a store owner here in San Diego. Oh, Debbie was really fantastic when it came to photo stamping. She's like a prolific photographer. She's like always posting things in the from the San Diego Zoo right here. Janet, yeah, you get yours from Marco's, but yeah, we couldn't, I don't know, you couldn't find it though in Canada though, huh? But Marco's, I don't know, ships to Canada, so that's a pretty good source for that. But anyways, let's take a look at one of these things. So right here you can see, pre-online video capability types of things. We used to post things like this. So this is her reference photo, right? Or not reference, but source photo right here. And then she would stamp her imagery on top of it. And then what she would do is she was doing coloring on her photo stamping pieces early on. But what you can't see from this scene right here that we can't tell is like these rocks down here, or even these rocks down on the waterfall. Okay, she would emboss those, meaning she would take that photo paper, flip it upside down, and like with something like this, like a backside of a brush, paintbrush or something, she would burnish into that area. I don't know if she had a light table or something like that. She'd have to be able to see where those rocks were, but she would burnish into it. So these pieces were like three-dimensional. So not only were they real kind of three-dimensional looking because of the photograph, but she would actually do those three-dimensional burnishing techniques, again, from the back side of the photo or scene. And those rocks would be dimensional. And you can see on this top one right here, she was using something like stickles or something like that down here in the water for that glistening look like that. So really cool. Yeah, Karin, we're going to try to find some glossy cardstock for you. I looked online and there is a source for that. they even had multiple types of semi-gloss, silk weight, or silk-coated types of papers. And I emailed it to someone, and they were going to email that company that had that listing there. But I have a feeling it was mostly for commercial types of purposes. But they had listed on there, things for like graphic designers, and graphic designers aren't, I don't know. Well, graphic designers are working with usually a printer, on large runs, but nothing like, like book printing or posters for movies, So I thought they might be able to access some smaller quantities, like by the ream type of thing. But I don't know. I'll let it be known if I find out any information on that and post it on the probably the information section on the accessories materials FAQ, the frequently asked questions there. But hello, Marta. Good to see you. We're doing a little, or I'm doing a little bit of a walkthrough here of some different pieces in the Stampscapes gallery. I haven't looked at this in quite some time. Sometimes I'll access like a specific scene if I can remember who did it. It's hard to remember everything, but look at this piece right here by Estrella right here. Really simple, but that was stamping on black, right? And I think it was embossed. Does anyone know by looking at this what she might have embossed that with? I think these ones in the foreground are definitely white detailed embossing powder, but what would this one be right here in the background? And look at this right here. I did a video recently on the Seaside Cove, the making of it into wood-mounted stamps. But look at this area right here. This is just the bottom of the Seaside Cove stamp. It's just a small little section of the middle interior, okay, that she has stamped down here. But I think that is embossed. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure that white was, though. But look at that. I find it to be a striking card. And something like that would be, I don't know, what is it? There's 3 stamps on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 impressions, and that's it, But really, it's certainly bold, spatially deep, and I think very effective in terms of a composition right there. But, yeah. Hello, Marta. Good to see you. We're doing a little tour here of some pieces. Let's see this Flickr link right here. Oops, let me see, did that go into... Oh, okay, that just brought up... This is Linda Blackbird right here. I mean, I linked to her, in her entire gallery here, but somewhere kind of back in the her links there are some Stampscapes scenes. Okay. Kathy Bob, here's another picture trail here. I see Kathy on Facebook once in a while posting. Let's go down here. It's Trina, Vicky Briggs, right here. This was a, who uses a mouse pad? But this was one of those mouse pad, right, things like this. And I don't know if she did a collage, and it's one of those things where you can upload it and make it have it printed into a mouse pad. Or I don't know if this was one of those things where it's like you do a mouse pad, or you do some kind of layout on some piece of paper and it goes underneath a piece of plastic that, the top part is the mouse pad or something like that. But I don't even use mouse pads anymore, but that's, back in the day when we were all using the kind of the roller style of one, as opposed to the, I don't know, whatever you call it, laser or something like that. Thank you, Meg. Pewter, silver or pewter. But that's what that looks like on black, though, huh? We need to do, I need to do one of those, or someone needs to do one of those. Debbie Brownmiller, let's see, she has a couple of these right here. Yeah, Debbie was pretty prolific in terms of her output here, as you can see, right? It's really fantastic work here. An instructor. Some beautiful work. This was a piece with the Oh, I started stacking it when people were submitting like hundreds of scenes. I just start stacking it. But these are the Coronado Island stamps by, oh gosh, does anyone remember the name of the artist that worked for? I don't. They didn't work for them, but they licensed their pieces to them. But just kind of bold, larger animal, types of shapes in there. Kind of more of a, I don't know, what do you call it? Like esoteric type of thing, animal amongst the clouds type of thing right here. This is a photo stamping right here where I think it was just declaring, I believe this cabin right here is stamped. It looks like it, right? I'm usually photo stamping on tops of sky figures, but, especially like winter types of scenes where it's real kind of snowy and, kind of a more of a limited range of values, not high contrast and whatnot, but a lot of white and grays. Look at that. The cabin in here really stands out nicely against that background. She didn't, have to kind of get rid. I mean, if I look carefully, yeah, I can see that shrunk in there, but, no big deal. And the foreground right here with the crooked limbs and hiker and child right there. But I think that makes for a pretty cool photo stamping piece. Candy hasn't used her computer in 2 years, so no mouse pad at all. It's all touchpad, right? You haven't used a mouse pad since 2008. Wow. That's going back. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's when we all stopped using them. I don't know. Okay, so that was Debbie Brown Miller. He has her blog link right there. Darcy Bruno right here. I loved Darcy's stuff. She was doing some really inventive things back then. Check out this piece right here with, this was gel pens, I believe. It looks more like paint pens though, doesn't it? But super impressionistic. I mean, I've been doing some things with my 3mm paint pens. But what she was doing back then was super, I don't know, impressionistic or pointillism or whatever you call it there. There was that one, and then there was like something like this right here. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't remember paint pens. This is 2007 right here. So, this is going back quite a ways in terms of accessory availability. So I love that look. It's like super, I don't know. What artist would you say? Like Monet or something, or Seurat, with pointillism or something like that. But really cool. This isn't my stamp right here, but look at this use of the cloud cumulus right here. I love that piece. This one reminds me of, let's see, Sleeping Beauty, right? With the dragon. Yeah, I don't know what company that was, or she just drew it. I don't think she would have just drawn that one. But isn't that cool? Look at that deep intensity there. Again, that was, this is from the dye-based inks and a lot of layering on here. But see this right here? This is one of those things that I'm teaching in my workshops in terms of the layering of imagery. That cloud cumulus has been used in here. This top part, the cloud is upside down. It looks like she used the larger cloud cumulus down here, pointed upwards. But then, see, if you just stamp out that cloud in all of this red right here, where it is in the lighter area, it wouldn't show up down here because these areas are darker. So what she has done is she has stamped out the cloud again in these two areas in black. So you have this transitioning intensity or value going from dark impressions to lighter impressions back there. I mean, they're not real light impressions. They're kind of on the darker side. They're medium tones. But they're medium tones like that against that yellow like that is really pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Smog right there. But I love that. If anyone can, knows these different types of images, let us know too. But isn't that a cool dragon? That's the only time I've ever seen that dragon used in any submission, I think, that I can remember. But, okay, now I make these things called idea cards, and which are basically just postcards sent out with our orders. And I had a couple of these ones right here. I love these Halloween pieces like this. But look at this, you know, kind of just I think she just made her own template right here, but look at these branches around it. This is the spooky branch, just using different portions of it around there like that. Eerie moon back in there. She just, you know, drew those ghost eyes and mouth down there. That's let me see, that bat is by Hero Arts. So probably still available, maybe in a set or something like that. But isn't that cool? I love that look like that. Let's see. I keep moving around this window because I got to get back to this. Has anyone ever done encaustics before? You know, I get these questions about, and I understand it too, because I've used a lot of glossy cardstock in the past, but some people say, hey, you know, do you have to use glossy cardstock or dye-based inks with Stampscapes? And I say no, and I usually refer them to the gallery section or something like that, or just log on to, you know, the Facebook group. But look at these really effective types of encaustics right here. Now, if any of you have done encaustics before, I don't know, remind me of what ink you have to stamp over the top of the encaustic. Is it StazOn that you have to? Because it's, you know, you're stamping it on wax. So, you know, I have no idea, but kind of all that little type of texturing down here, probably with some palette knife or something like that. I don't know. I've never done this before. I've only done encaustics when I was in school and not with stamping. So I don't know what type of encaustic waxes people are using, but look at this movement like this. That's pretty cool. With encaustics too, you might even be able to do some scratch knife work and go into them and put in some sort of light like you would like scratchboard or something like that, because this is just like wax right over the top of paper. So things like that might be pretty cool. But look at this whole landscape of a type of thing. This one right here is where you kind of put that paper down and then pull it up, so it gives you that kind of, that real kind of, I don't know, what would you call it? That, I don't know, that certain type of texturing like that. I don't know, yeah, but it would have to be StazOn, right, to stamp on top of wax. I mean, dye-based inks aren't going to stick to it, but I don't know. But the thing to me that surprises me, isn't it kind of interesting? Wouldn't you think there's, with all this texture on there, and with that wax being raised and scratched into, wouldn't it create kind of an uneven surface? It doesn't look like the impressions are broken up. You know, when you're stamping a large stamp that's solid, if there's like an indentation, sometimes if there's even like a piece of like lint on your paper, you know what I mean? When you pull off that stamp, that leaves a little bit of a hole. But on here, I see very clean impressions of all the images. I don't see this like fissure going down the center where there's this absence of ink. So I don't know how they did it. A super juicy StazOn or something like that, I'm guessing. I don't know. How would you guys do it? Let's see. But yeah, all kinds of different looks here. Here's another piece right here with, I'm guessing that has to be white embossing, right? God, that looks really clean though. It looks really opaque. Yeah, but, oh, you're saying that if they stamped it first, Meg, and then did the encaustic over the top of it? Huh. I don't know, maybe. But it seems like that waxy encaustic would obscure the image, though. I think with that wax over black, I don't think it would, I don't think it's a resist either. I don't know. If any of you know that, let us know. Or if there's anyone watching this in the replay and you know that process, please write it into the comments section below. I always like this one right here. You know those Halloween scenes that she did, but look at this one. This one's the shagbark hickory outline that she did. And then she made that into this template right here and stamped that within that little window area right there. So really cool. I always liked that type of look there. Let's go down here and see some other pieces right here. Versifine Claire, huh? Got it. I would think that was one layer of wax, wouldn't you, Meg? I don't know. I don't have any experience with that, so like every one of you would probably know more than I would on that process. Even if you were just to take a guess and haven't done it before, you'd know more about it than I would. Rebecca Chin here. I think Rebecca was the one that used to host a Stampscapes swap on the Rubber Stamp Madness Classifieds. I think that was her. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was her. Speaking of that, I remember one time, I don't know, the web, the World Wide Web or whatever in the early days, it was like, there weren't as many people on back when, okay? But I remember one guy found, did a search on his ex-girlfriend from, 20 years previous. I don't know what it was or something like that. But they had asked me if, I could forward their contact information to the individual that he assumed was his ex or whatever. I never asked about it, but I sent her the information. She got in touch with them. Diane Collier or whatever. Look at these extensive pieces right here. I think she did a cover for Rubber Stamp Madness, speaking of Rubber Stamp Madness, but look at these pieces right here. I always liked, beeswax right here. See, this is beeswax for the Pegasus right here. But look at this. Okay, speaking of Seaside Cove, look at this usage of it right here. See, I don't tend to do this, but I love this look. I need to do this more, but there in each one of these areas right here, each object is colored very distinctively. Boy, this is from 2005 right here, but I usually do things where it's a lot more kind of integrated as far as universal colors right here, but this is the Seaside Cove right here, and she has done some extensive work down here in the water section right here with, I'm guessing it was a white paint pen at that time. I don't think the white gel pens were at the time, but that would probably be a white paint pen. I'm looking at it, and it's kind of a little bit more translucent, meaning some of that blue is shining through there, so I'm guessing it's the Sakura. But look at this figure right here. Isn't that really cool, standing in that water like that? 100 Proof Press. So 100 Proof Press, so this woman's still available because 100 Proof Press is still around. But pretty cool stuff right here. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it was the one of these pieces has been on Rubber Stamp Madness. I'm not sure. Okay, so she did her version of the moon and the forest floor right here. These are, again, these mushrooms right down here are 100 Proof Press. I think Beeswax used to make them as well, but I love her interpretation of that right here. I was thinking about doing another moon in the forest floor type of composition right here because, this is back in 2005, right? And, of course, with the Lavinia stamps, with all the fairies and stuff like that, this would be a really fantastic setting for those stamps. So she was using the white pigment ink down here as well. But hello, Carrie. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in here. We're just doing a little bit of a tour of some gallery scenes. I haven't looked through this gallery on the Stampscapes website in quite some time now, so I thought I would take a look here. Here's Gary Cordova. He was one of the few guy stampers, right? Great discrepancy in the stamping world, as we all know, in terms of the ratio of male to female stampers, Gary, but I did get quite a few guy stampers, male stampers back in the day doing landscape stamping. Some guys weren't even, crafters at all, but they would come by the booth and, at a convention or something like that and I'd get that husband staying there or whatever, and as the wife, was able to go around and take her time and do her shopping, and I took care of that guy, entertaining him or whatever. Some of those guys started stamping. Hello, Michelle from South Carolina. Unless that means Southern California, but I think you mean South Carolina. But and the gallery section too, I had some interviews by people, so little Q&A right here, for some people. I would ask them, a few questions, then I would do a little bit of a follow-up or something like that with them. Let's see, here's Susana Cueto right here. She was doing a lot of the little tiny inchies. Everyone remember inchies, stamping on little 1" by 1" tiles and whatnot. But this is with the stamp board now called Clayboard Art Tiles, and you can get them in the inchy format. They're raised like hardboard tiles with a clay surface on it, allowing you to use any type of media you want on top of it. It's similar. I would liken it to maybe a silk weight heavy cardstock mounted on hardboard, but this is a clay on it instead of paper, so you can go back into it and scratch back into it. Oh, San Clemente, you probably told me that on your first, on one of the previous lives there. But hello, and let's see. Hello, Cheryl. Those are the inchies right here. Did anyone ever get into inchies here? I know a lot of people were into it. Look at this little inchy right here. You can do almost these little inchies are really fantastic. I bet you where this format right here is an ATC format. That's what I'm guessing. But really cool little tiny pieces. So a lot of times people say, hey, this the stamp like this, is too big for my piece of paper. I want to do an ATC. I don't want to do something this size right here. Well, this is an ATC size. Those little huts right there are on a piece of wood this size, but they've just used a small portion of it. And same thing with that moon. That moon is an F size piece, 2 by 4. That piece right there, I can tell from that tile, is a 2 by 2 inch piece right there. But really fun stuff. I need to do some smaller pieces sometime. I get a kick out of doing those really tiny pieces like that. But look at this one right here. This one's like a little bookmark right here. And there's the lakeside cabin, if you're familiar with that one. Again, I'm guessing that's probably 2 inches across, but they used just the 2 inches of the 2.5 inch wide stamp like that there. Yeah, inchies are very tiny, that's for sure. But yeah, Susana was one that really got into the utilization of them. Oh my gosh, this is stamp board back when they released rounds and ovals. But isn't that a fantastic format like that? They didn't do that for too long, okay, because it cost so much money for them to cut these out to the point where they weren't literally making any money off selling those bags. But they just loved the look of it, and they had released those for I'm guessing they were out there for like 2 years or something like that. And when they were gone, so here's a bunch of little pieces like this too. Rounds and ovals like that one. That one right there was like 4.5 inches across. But they were really fun. Here's some sort of Van Gogh piece. That's not Stampscapes stamps, but it's a pretty cool stamp board piece. All these other ones were 2 inch by 2 inch. Really fun stuff. Okay, so do you know how I do photo stamping? Randall Curry was the one that invented that, okay? Look at this is from 1997 here. But that's a photograph in the background. You can see some clouds down here. So the clouds aren't even in the sky on this piece. The clouds are down here, providing that lighter surface. So when he stamped the palms and huts right over the top of it, they show up. There's not like this heavy contrasting cloud and sky type of thing down here. But see, if he stamped this in this area, this whole area in here would be dark, right? Because it's against this blue right here. So he stamped it in the clouds. So he used the clouds as kind of like a, I don't know, like a blocking out area in order to stamp out the imagery so that it would show. So pretty cool. And he used to take photographs of clouds, and he would sell his cloud packs of printed clouds for people to photo stamp on. So he was the one where I got that idea from. And I didn't do too much of that until kind of fairly recently, not too long ago. I don't know. Last year, I think it was. Colleen's piece. Colleen is someone that only uses, I don't know, only, but predominantly watercolor applications right here. So see this right here? You can tell it's on watercolor paper, okay? So you get that real good watercolor. Here we are with the Seaside Cove again right here, but that real watercolory type of look in the background. The imagery that are largely solid tend to suffer from it a little bit, but I think it's a good trade-off because you can see in these palm fronds up here, they're not complete impressions because of the indentations and grooves in the paper, but the look of these watercolors are really cool. So look at that right there. But look at that, you know, that sky in there and the just that watercolory look on those sails. I think it's really fantastic. You recently, oh, that's a great idea with your, I need to cut out some more ovals myself with the Cricut. Or I should say, have my wife do that. Ingrid, can you cut out more of those ovals again? Yeah. All right, let's go down here. Let's see. Linda Ellenwood, one of the real innovators in terms of stamping. She had a real kind of fluid look to her pieces. Okay, Candy's asking, how did she get crisp impressions? Well, with the watercolors. Sorry about that. There's a big delay, from when I'm talking right here to when you guys see it. But she didn't get super crisp impressions. So if you look closely at the pieces, they'll be kind of missing sections on, the line work of a piece. But I think where she's gone back in and painted in like the shadow areas in there, it fills in a lot of the different information for the image structure itself. So, but again, it kind of lends itself to that whole look, having that kind of texturing in there. Okay, but but with Linda Ellenwood right here, see this right here? It's a real small kind of scene, but if you guys know there's a stamp called Splash, but she would do a lot of repetitive types of impressions of it to get this kind of texturing in here. And up here in the sky, she would take rubber stamps and kind of twist and turn them and things like that. But it was really in some inventive usages. Let me see right here if I can find one here. Well, I was just on that one, but she would do these kind of interesting things, these real fluid types of applications with certain designs. Let me see. Let me go back to this one right here. See how those mountain bikers right there? She might take those same mountain bikers. She would take the focal point of scenes, and then she would use it in the skies, but she would be twirling it and stamping it around where you couldn't see the image of those mountain bikers. But it would kind of create this kind of interesting dynamic between focal point and surrounding textures like that. So it would be, the sky might be made out of those mountain bikers, believe it or not. I don't know. It was wild. Here's some photo stamping right here where she stamped on top. Oh, what happened there? Did I do a bad link right there? Let me see. Oh my gosh, I did a bad link. And no one mentioned it back, when was that? 15 years ago. But let's take a look here. Here's stuff on different types of papers right here. Pearl X coloring. Anyone use Pearl X here? But cool looking looks like that. I don't know, just really inventive stuff right here. Here's a sequential piece, okay, that she did here. Oh, remember why I was talking about the soot cards and burning the edges right here? Well, here it is right here. Here she's burnt the edge of that. card. I don't burn my cards enough. I need to do that, though. Isn't this a cool look right here where she's burnt the edges like that? You know? And then she's probably done some weathering. I don't know if she had to do any weathering. That might just be the natural color of that burnt cardstock like that. But I don't know. Yeah, we don't mess around with the edges enough. Some people tear their edges too and kind of give it that different type of kind of weathered look around it. Then they add some coloring around it. But look at this, one of those kind of handmade papers that this is mounted on, kind of, so this burnt edge kind of reiterates the torn edge of that piece like that. But really cool stuff. She was doing stuff with the symmetry pieces, like these, I call them my winter's wind, but look at this real subtle type of kind of almost shadow image up there in the sky like that in this winter piece. I like doing that with like things like animals too. You saw the Coronado Island wolves, and that was a cool way to do that too. But Linda, you know, Linda's into quilting now. I don't think she hasn't stamped in a long time, but look at this piece right here. Okay, now see on this one right here, yeah. So see, there's that horse right here, and I can see that horse right here. So here she has added all this texturing down here that's buried underneath, you know, the textures in here. But then this woman that's that lady on horse is, I'm guessing that's the one that's used up here for that texturing. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, oh yeah, she's pointed it out right here with these two little pieces right here. So I don't know, just real inventive usages of the stamps right there. Anna Karin, her Flickr piece right here, really prolific stamper. She was in South Africa and was almost like a one-person kind of publication. That's what I used to call her. I made a lot of idea cards out of her pieces like that. Yeah, we should. The antique paper, right, Debbie. That's a good idea. In fact, maybe I should do that coming up in one of my next pieces right here. Chris Fitzgerald right here. I see her on Flickr. I'm subscribed to her Flickr gallery or whatnot. If any of you guys have a Flickr gallery, whatever, you should send me the links to it, you know, and I'll connect up. But she's like a watercolorist, you know, freehand artist and whatnot. But look at this piece right here, how fluid, and I love the color scheme too, don't you? But she does a lot of watercolory types of things. This is not watercolor here, but I feel that doesn't it have kind of a watercolor-y look to it in terms of the finish quality? I think it does. It's just a really fluid type of look to it. Look at this one right here. Look at that, 2004. My gosh, that's almost 20 years ago. How did 2004 get, you know, to be that long ago? This piece right here, I had made into a idea card. I always love this piece like that. But look at that water down here. And someone was asking me about leaves, like autumn leaves in the water. And there's the autumn leaves down there in the water. I drew that for a Stamp in the Hand company, but I didn't release it for Stampscapes. So she has the Stamp in the Hand version of it. But these, she has taken some mountains from a couple different nature sets. And here's the canyon right here. She happened to have that version of the canyon probably before I re-released it. I don't know, maybe not. But yeah, here's the stream from nature set number 1 right here. But again, it's a real watercolory look to it. Yeah, but really cool different types of techniques and whatnot from her. Oh, I love these types of constructions right here. You know, I was doing that foil piece, you know, like this one right here, where I was talking about kind of achieving kind of a real three-dimensional type of look to the foil, but having it just in 2 dimensions. But this trifold card, or I don't know, whatever the different words for these types of cards, I love these ones like that. But yeah, all these different little components and pieces like that. I've always loved the look of that construction like that. I always thought that was really cool. Yeah, Debbie. Yeah, back it up with that. Or like another, I don't know, kind of a antique looking paper with maybe some different contrast or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Well, and we need to do that, some of that. I really love that look of that type of antique-ish look. And plus, I love like using like the distress inks, like the what was that color? Walnut stain. Yeah, walnut stains and all that type of thing. I love those different types of looks like that. Let's go down here. Let's see. Karin, or Anne Karin. That's Anne Karin, so I know Anne Karin. But this is someone from, let's see, where was she from? Norway. But look at these different looks like this. Anyone guess how she got that texture up there? I don't think it's not encaustic. It's those different types of iridescent, like Pearlex things, right? And didn't she kind of wipe away in there or something like that? Candy likes the vintage stamps in the hand. I do too. There's something about more of that kind of three-dimensional type of feel to it. But yeah, how did she do that? But look at this. This is someone that was, I'm looking at all this and not, just different stamping on different types of papers and whatnot. It's interesting going through this gallery thing right here because I have an order waiting for some products to come in to ship to Norway right now. This different website's going to start carrying them, but I don't know if any of you have any idea at all. I remember this piece right here. I love this look, but this torn type of thing right here. This is vellum right here, right? But how did she get that torn edge look? That wasn't just tearing. That looks like it's been cut out, right? Over the top of it. But then this is done in something like that's embossed, right? On top of the vellum over the top of this. I don't know. That would be a good look to do, wouldn't it? And then what is this right here? That's some sort of that's like a bead, isn't it? Hello, Froggy Fresh. Good to see you. We're doing a little Q&A, if anyone. There's not a lot of A going on right here. As I don't know how a lot of these pieces were made. we're looking at the Stampscapes website right here in the gallery section. But look at this cool. Is there some kind of decal edge thing that's like that, kind of edgy like that with the vellum? But I don't know, we need to start employing some of this, or I do. Some of these vellum overlays like that. I'm assume that's vellum, right? I don't know. But that's a really good look there. Always like that. Roberta Honcoop right here. I have her picture trail. I need to go and remove all those picture trails on there. But, yeah. Let's see. Sandy Holsert. Okay, Sandy used to be a teacher. I need to remove like things like that. These stores aren't around any longer. Oh, her YouTube video isn't available any longer. Oh, that was a Brad right there? It had that cool kind of top to it. Yeah, there used to be decal scissors. I know that, but that one was so kind of irregular looking. I wonder if that was a scissor. It looks like it was from the cut though, doesn't it? I don't know. But look at this piece right here. This is just Brayer background, right? I love the Brayer background. I'm guessing that was with a big and juicy pad. That was the name of the pads back, from Ranger. But that vellum, it didn't look like the vellum looked so crisp though. It looked like it was supposed to look like a torn vellum, but it was just so crisp looking. Huh. Decal ruler. I never even heard of that. Huh. Interesting. All right, let's go down here. The ink pad. The ink pad, is that the one from New York? Okay, she has just embossed the Spiral Galaxy on black paper. The Ink Pad is a store, retail store in New York. And I saw a video of that recently. A tearing ruler. Okay, I don't know those types of fancy things. I'll have to look that one up. Are they still available? It looks pretty cool. All right, let's just go down here. If any of you are in this gallery section, well, first of all, you've been stamping for a really long time, but I don't know. Let us know. Okay, so in my little tour here yesterday of the Stampscapes page in general, I went to Pam Klein. Pam Klein was a fantastic user of the line. She carried, I think, every Stampscape stamp in her start. Oh my gosh, I need to remove all this type of information right here. But she was in St. Genevieve, Missouri. I even have the hours right here. But she was one of those first people that I knew of that she was stamping all of her imagery, okay, on separate pieces of, it was either mylar or acetate. I think it was acetate, okay? So she would do a stamping, I'm guessing with the stays on, right? It would have to be, especially back then. This is 2000 right here. Stamp on acetate in black on that clear acetate, and she would keep that piece of acetate next to her stamp with her, wood-mounted stamps. And then when she wanted to compose things, she would be composing with the clear, acetates, okay? Just presumably on the, just to see how things would go together. So she would do these really elaborate pieces, okay? So, something like this was a full page scene like this. And it wasn't just the Stampscape stamps. I mean, she would be doing other pieces, like I brought this one up yesterday with the piece. I have the notation down below. Mountain Lion. Oh, the Mountain Lion was PSX. Okay, now PSX isn't around either. So, anyway. Yeah, maybe the links are broken. I don't know. Yeah, Sandy's pieces are up there. Let me see something. Chris, I see Chris is on here. Chris, did you just join in? Because I was just going through your gallery right here, So here's Chris right here, if you want to ask her any questions. I was talking about your fantastic technique and your background and like coloring and painting and all that stuff kind of being brought into your pieces like here. So look at that. Isn't that fantastic? So anyway, there is a user or the Stampscapes gallery individual right here. But love your stuff. Always loved your stuff, Chris. And I was mentioning the idea card piece of yours. But anyway, let's go down here. Let's see here. Peggy Lee, I forgot. Clouds with paper towels. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. So you add those kind of torn paper towel types of reverse things. And then what you have to do is you add ink after you pull the paper towel off to make it look more frothy and stuff. Yeah, Chris, I was just glad you're here to show your pieces here. So I don't know. Chris is one of those people that I did the interview with too. So you can read her interview on there. Celia Lee, I think she's out of Australia or something like that, but I always liked her style too. Some really cool kind of applications of pieces, but a real kind of really distinctive type of style too. Look at this use of the little white gel pens on here. I mean, it is a really distinctive look too, so it's like Chris, had a really distinctive style to her pieces. Right, in scenic stamping, it's one of those places genres in stamping where you can really, kind of develop your own very distinctive style because of all of the free form types of applications that you can add in whatever method you want, wherever you want it, into your scenes. So even if they're using the same stamps, a lot of times I can see, when I'm scrolling up on Facebook or something like that, before I even look at the name of the person, I can tell who it was by. So Chris is one of those people that, very distinctive, unique style to it. This is like run right here. Sulia, very distinctive look to her pieces too, right? Just in the way that people handle it. It's almost like a signature, someone's signature, handwriting or something like that. Yeah. Oh, here's what I want to know. All the stamp pads in colors seem to be rapidly disappearing. What are people doing? Yeah, it's a bad one, huh, Chris? I don't know. We have to use... what I'm telling people to do is get re-inkers for their pieces, like the Marvies or something like that, just while they're still around. Yeah, the white gel pen, exactly, Froggy Fresh. I love the white gel pens, but the acrylic pens are so much easier for me. Hello, Jeannie. Jeannie's right here. Here's another person in the gallery section. Jeannie went through her different periods, like, like a Picasso, like his rose period and blue period and, cubist period, I'll scroll down here further. But yeah, some great stuff by Sulia. She didn't stamp for, I see her pieces once in a while still, but yeah, she moved on to some different things and whatnot. But really fantastic, but did some fantastic stuff while doing that. Okay. Here's Terry Looper right here, one of the guy stampers in the stamping world. I think he was having a contest with this other guy that was submitting to the gallery. And I don't know, that was kind of funny back then. It was almost like there was a little bit of bad blood going on. There was like a war within the Stampscapes gallery or whatever, back before Picture Trail and before you can post your own things like that. But little interview with Terry there. He was submitting a lot of stuff, and I just told him, hey, Terry, you need to create a Flickr Gallery, and I'll just create your, link right there. You can post as many things as you want. You don't have to wait for me, Janet McGillivray, really fantastic user of the line right here. Look at all of her pieces right here. These pieces right here I think these were alcohol inks, right? I mean, you guys can tell me. That looks like alcohol inks to me. But look at that use of the background and just having that stamp, Lakeside Cove stamped right over the front of it. But isn't that really cool like that? But she has a real clean look to her pieces, and which I would like to incorporate, with some of my usages, but I don't know, I just don't have it. I have to be dirty or something and muddy, in terms of my coloring. That's why I use so much of the white pigment ink and like the white paint pen ink in that. But look at this one right here. Isn't that kind of a cool background right here in terms of that, those clouds in there? It's like some brushwork, right? But look at that brushwork going on down here. But I love this, again, here, who was doing the Cricut work? The rounds would be a good thing to do on the Cricut as well. I need to do some round pieces. A round piece would look really fantastic for like a full moon scene, don't you think? Having that round moon up there and the round formatting. Hello, Rose. Good to see you. Oh, did Janet take off? Oh, goodbye, Janet. Thanks for joining in. But there's, what are we on right here? We're on Terry. Was that Terry's piece? Yeah, Terry's. Okay. Sandy Marr, mainly stamps. Oh, we were talking about going to Maine back then, and there was a store called Mainly Stamps. Oh, it was in Route 1, Kittery, Maine, Oh, I love this piece right now. I made this one into, see, the husband You know, I'd get some husbands that never stamped before, you know what I mean? But they were the husband of the store owner, and he's like, I'm going to start doing some of that stuff. So this was a postcard I made of this piece of his. Look at this. This is the tree-lined hills, which I typically thought of something as a background, right? But backgrounds, foregrounds, whatever, you can use it wherever you want. And he used it as like a little, you know, slope or something like that for the trees to be growing out of like that. But I love this real clean look to this. I tend to see, if I was doing this, I would add a lot more shadows like in this area right here. I wouldn't leave that, okay? But I look at this, and I love this look right here. It's almost like front lighting. I usually do back lighting, okay? But I love this clean, kind of real crisp look to this right here. Yeah. But just some really great stuff. It's kind of cool, like I said, kind of going back over this. I'm, you know, skipping over a lot of these pieces. Okay, so you know the Pam Klein piece, or the one that uses the stays on acetate pieces. Okay, so her kind of disciple, her customer in her store was Jolene Meyer right here, okay? And Jolene Meyer, look at this. This is some of her early stuff. I mean, it was pretty good, okay? Right? And here's her interpretation of Pam's piece. She did kind of a similar composition right here, okay? Here's the ledge right here. And here's the PSX Cougar right here. And look at this. Here's the light coming over it like that. Okay. So this is 2001 right here. You sent me something new, Chris, via email. Can't wait to see it, or mail or whatever. Always look forward to your stuff. Everyone check out Chris Fitzgerald. Chris, you should put a link to your Flickr account, or, you know, in the text here, so we can check it out, you know. But look at this. That was 2001. Things start getting more complex. Well, this is in the same year, right? And then, let's see here. Look at this one right here. There's another one of those Pegasus types of things. Or is that Pegasus? Pegasus isn't a unicorn, right? Pegasus is just or is it a unicorn? I can't remember if it was just the white horse or whatever. But look at this getting really complex in here. Oh, I have the exact date on there, 7/28. But let's see if it even goes into a second year right here. Look at this one right here. I love this moon. And look at the lighting in here. Light source, reflected light down here, right? All right, let's see. I want to find that bear one, though. Where is the bear with that? Oh, yeah, right here. Is this Roaring Rapids right here? This is the Seaside Cove, right? She has used the very top of the Seaside Cove up here. Here it is, the center section right here. Here's the lower section down here. So, oh, yeah. Pegasus has wings. Thank you. Here is the Seaside Cove used as this raging river. I always go back to this one. And look at this. She has used both of the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis curtains stamp right here. And this is the Aurora Borealis rays right here. But just a fantastic composition. And again, she was using the acetate. And look at this. She has taken the tree trunk trio here and broke it in half, right? She's made this edge real jaggedy because it normally ends in a straight line up top right here. So just a really inventive usage of the stamps and, I don't know, a very complex arrangement. Here's another one right here. Okay, so we're going into the second year right here. She's used just a ton of animal imagery right here. I believe this one's Coronado Island stamps. But look at this, Creation, 2002. Look at this line of the cloud cumulus right here. Just a single line of it with, that dark filler or intense filler of that red. See, I would never do that with the red, but I think it looks fantastic up there. It's just so intense, That would have been the big Seaside Cove back then, yeah. I don't think I had the smaller Seaside Cove at that time, but you certainly could use the smaller Seaside Cove in that place. But look at this, like, color down here. Isn't that interesting? So, just some great techniques right here. Here's another one. Here's the Seaside Cove right here, again, used as a river, right? Oh, someone mentioned my paper. I don't know what that is. I don't. She might have stamped out that cloud. That really looks like a template that's been used in there, but it looks like the exact same silhouette as this. So she might have cut out, the edge of this cloud, and in order to, and then block this off right here, and then added those stars up there. And then here we go again with the probably a white gel pen at the time. I don't know if that was a white paint pen or not. Yeah, it's an amazing piece, isn't it? Save her whole gallery there, Candy. Hers and Chris's, write their names down, Really fantastic reference points there. Yeah, so, yeah, and here's a whole Jolene Meyer. Jolene Meyer quit stamping because she got back into raising, I want to say it was Dobermans or something like that, the dog. All right, she might have had it in here somewhere. I think it was actually in her email address. It was something like Doberman, I don't know, something like that. The rock stamps, let's see if I know which one you're referring. Are you talking about the rocks in which scene at this point in time? Is it the bear one, or was it the this one's the boulders right here? That's the same one that I used in this scene right here. I'm getting a glare here. But that's the Brookside Boulders. I don't know. There's rocks right there. You might have been referring to a completely different scene there. Oh, okay. So I have a listing of all the stamps used in some of these pieces. Some people gave me the stamps that were used in scenes, and some people didn't. Okay, so yeah. But I don't know. Let me know or send me a separate thing. But look at this piece right here and that color right there. It's really fantastic. Look at that tone. Oh, and this is like a 4. So here's the tree trunk trios right here again. But she has added this tree on the top of it to make those, full trees instead of just the tree trunks or whatnot. But she has stacked this one right here up here again to make this one longer. So just a real free-flowing use of the designs, and it's really been layered in here as well, which that's something that I don't do a lot of because, I would have to mask off. I guess it's easy, just put a piece of paper right here, but I tend not to make things so dense like that. But even with that density, she has stamped out some of them lighter so that they are more visually recessed like that. I don't know. Gosh. Pretty intense like that. Patty Meyer here. Oh my gosh, there's so many people in here. Peg Napier. Oh, these are the torn. Okay, so Froggy, was it you, Froggy Fred, that was mentioning the mountains before I added the mountains? So this was the torn paper towel technique to create background mountains. In fact, that's what most people were doing with the torn paper techniques. They were doing these background mountain types of scenes like that, okay? Look at that right there. Just torn backgrounds right here for these different layers down here and just stamping, an image right over the top of it. So Stampscapes Torn Paper Study by Peg right here. Let's see here. Yeah, those ones are all torn paper studies right here, but let's see what she was doing right here. Photo stamping right here. Look at this photo stamping right here with the sunset lake, right? So that's not stamped in the background. That's a picture of a lake with some things in the background, but still bare enough where you can stamp whatever you want. It looks like she did something three-dimensional in the foreground here. I'm thinking it was some kind of glitter type of application. But yeah, really fantastic photo stamping. example like that. Let's see here. Yeah, she was the one. Okay, she taught in Southington, Connecticut, right here. Look at this. This is a lot of. Okay, she says this was a white gel pen. Do you think that's white gel pen right up here? There wasn't a lot of other kind of media available at the time, but that looks like a really thick application if it is gel pen. And someone was mentioning, who mentioned that it's gel pen to me, that they broke it, but the gel pens, because of that roller ball, I couldn't build up that type of amount of ink on there. Jeannie's someone that uses a ton of white in her pieces. I don't think we could do this with a white gel pen, right, Jeannie? Not with that roller ball going on there, because what happens is if you start layering too much with the gel pen roller ball, for me, I end up kind of removing, if I kind of keep trying to build it. That's why I like the acrylic paint pens a little bit better now. I mean, the gel pens are really fantastic, but the paint pens are just better. The gel pens, to me, they used to clog up early on, but the latest ones are much better. No, so they're fantastic for writing something like that. But I don't have to worry about that with the acrylic paint pens. And when I'm doing these videos and things like that, the less things I have to worry about, the better. Okay, so here's Joe Nathan. Here's another guy that was doing everything. I don't know if did any of you know Joe Nathan going back when, but he was this guy that he started stamping, but he had, okay, I was going to say he had a lighthouse in every scene, okay? So this one right here, I was thinking, okay, maybe he didn't do the lighthouse. Here's the top of the lighthouse right here. Okay, he had it kind of hidden in there, and I see one in here, and there's one right here. I don't know if a lighthouse would be, right next to a river or something like that, or on the top of a mountain in the distance, but he was bonkers about lighthouses, so he would have them in all. See, look at this. This is like at 14,000 feet probably, and there's a lighthouse up there. But he was the one that was in a little bit of competition with another guy, I think to get the most amount of scenes or something. It was like, I don't know, I was getting a huge number of submissions by him, but here's a little interview with him back in the year, 2000, so wow. Quite some time ago. His dad used to be an artist, etc. Yeah. But anyway, another guy there. Let's see. Let's scroll down here. Here's Ken Pescio. If you were a stamper in Arizona, you might have taken a class or been aware of Ken Pescio. He used to do the conventions out there as well. I learned a lot of stuff, so I'm using things like the tack and peel with acrylic blocks. Now, other people did that, but I would go to these scenic stamping retreats, and Ken went to, I think, all the ones that I went to. And he gave his, seal of approval for the tack and peel. His tack and peel piece was black with ink, okay? But he was putting the stamps on there. He says it's working just fine for him, and he's been using it for years, so that's when I got into tack and peel here. But he was one of the first people to have a video, too. He had a DVD, an instructional DVD. And, yeah, just a really great user of the stamps. He was one of those people that I don't know if he stamped or not, but he would come to the Carson show with his wife, and he would sit there and watch, for a couple shows in a row. And I don't know, he started doing Stampscape stamps and then started teaching it all over, Arizona and whatnot. But this is a cool look right here. I don't know how he got those looks on there. Oh, he did some kind of thing. Look at that white right on here. And then he did like this little wispy look coming off of those and then splatter painting on there. That's pretty cool, isn't it? But just a ton of scenes like this, Here's the template type of thing right here. Right here. I don't know. We were talking about ovals, right? He was one of the first people I saw kind of doing ornaments, all right, with Stampscapes. So always liked the look of those pieces like that. You know, those real. So he was probably doing those things. What do you call those kind of die cutters that used to have done at, like, all the stores used to have a bunch of die cut machines, and you go back in there and you can print out. So he was working with a lot of those stores. So I'm guessing that's where he was doing it. There weren't Crickets back then, in 2010. So doing all that type of stuff. So I'm guessing that that's where he was having these cut, unless these came in pre-cut packs or something like that. You remember Ken? Yeah, he was definitely out there doing some really fantastic work. But here's some early ones from Ken. You can see kind of there's like the one thing about these gallery sections like that. This is like an early piece of his in 2003 like that. Let's see what the latest ones were. 2012 like this. So definitely an evolution in kind of the style and applications of stamps too. Ken was always telling me, we talk about black inks on this, chat a lot, but it was the things like black inks or whatever. Ken's favorite ink, black ink, was Memories Black, okay? And he's in Arizona. Memories Black for me is something that I use like as my last impressions if I'm doing a foreground and I wanted something really dark, okay, back then. These days I might use a Claire or something like that if I'm not doing it on glossy cardstock, okay, and it'll dry. But I learned from demoing out in Arizona that, okay, just about everything dries out here, like within, quickly. That might take me overnight, okay? Dries in like 2 hours, but something that might take a half an hour for me here to dry, out there might take 5 minutes or something like that completely. So, yeah. So all that, those little types of things. Oh, here's his video thing right here. Stampscapes Made Easy. Some people might have, I even have a purchase add to cart here. I need to ask him about that or take that down if that's, well, obviously it's still on the website here. But this is one of the first DVDs right here for Stampscapes. Oh, awesome. Yeah, but Ken, awesome. I learned a lot of stuff from him. He learned from me early on, but I learned a lot of stuff from him too. He was quite prolific in terms of his usage of the line, and yeah, it's fun going to those different things like retreats, because you just sit there and this wasn't a teaching retreat. This is where, like, scenic stamping, we all just kind of brought our stuff and everyone just sat at tables and stamped out scenes like for 3 days or whatnot, but a lot of exchanging of information and things like that. So it was really great. Mark Roseboom, he was the son of Anja Roseboom right here. And he was like a teenager or something like that, but he really took to the line and the different types of techniques and looks right here, using a lot of, I think, beeswax and maybe, Lost Coast designs and whatnot. Always liked that look of like, Greco-Roman types of things, or these kind of esoteric types of imagery and whatnot. Let's see. The Rubber Stamp Connection, what's that? I think they were a store. Yeah, Storm. This is the cloud with lightning stamped in like an ochre or something like that. Something I would never do, but look how effective that looks right there. So to me, I would add this upside down in the water like that. But to me, that wouldn't work because it wouldn't, show. You wouldn't be able to see these images down here as clearly. But I think this is really effective up here. Here's purple going into this transitioning yellow ochreish. Isn't that the color combination you used, Jeannie, recently? I said, hey, it's not easy to blend those together, But here they just kind of kept it separately like that. And yeah. But yeah, Chris, yeah. That's why I like that type of imagery, the Greco-Roman stuff. Yeah, Chris has been a long time stamper. She knows all that, really early types of imagery. So we're going down here. Look at the Jeannie Siegels right here. So Jeannie, let's go through your stuff right here. Oh, you have the Coronado Island pieces right here. Jeannie, she was one of those people that, she still likes a lot of monochromatic, kind of the black and white grayscale types of things. She does great color work as well, you know. In these pieces, look at this, 2000, this is 20 years ago, Jeannie. How did that, how did this submission get to be 20 years ago? But let's see, here's all of her pieces right in here. You can see a lot of Jeannie's work in the Stampscapes, Facebook group and whatnot. Definitely a distinctive look. One of the things about the thumbnails is you can get a feel for, a person's like signature style and the colors that they're using and whatnot, right? But, okay, this is where Jeannie went off. Okay, so see that here. I enjoy him too, sweetie, as a bird. But look at these pieces right here, really complex. You're getting into your angles right here too. Jeannie, I always say she's the master of using different types of angles to all of her pieces and kind of breaking down different looks. But this is where she got into kind of her really different use of the Stampscapes. Look at this right here, It's like Picasso's, his Cubist period or whatnot. This is like modern art usage right here. Who's used, the cow like that before? No one, and no one since either. But really cool pieces like that. This is like what year is this right here? 2011. That was before, what do you call that? What's that type of drawing that you do where it's all kinds of different patterns and stuff these days? I can't remember, but it's almost like, look at this thing right here. Isn't that insane? This one right down here makes my eyes kind of, it's like an optic. This is like optic stamping or whatever. Chris, what's the name of that? Chris might know this. What's the name of that different type of art thing where it's like optic art or something like that, right? It's like something like that. I can't remember, but I don't know. It's like I don't know, whatever that movement was, like in the 60s, I think it was, or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but these are really cool. These are cool to go back on. Look at this right here, Jeannie. You probably moved. Look at this one right here. This one, this little fish. You got into like flowers right here. But look at this one right here. The grayscale. I like these grayscale one with like the shadow stamping pieces right here with the fisherman. It's kind of cool. Oh yeah, it's Zentangle. Thank you guys. It's almost, maybe you invented Zentangle, Jeannie. But look at this piece right here. That is really cool. Oh, anyway. And no, I don't do drugs. I didn't want to say anything, But the joke came to mind about that, I was gonna say, I don't know what Jeannie was on, but give me some of that, But look at this right here. Anyway, Jeannie's stuff. Jeannie, your husband or something, posted some of your pieces on the Flickr Gallery. I was going to say you should add all that stuff to the Flickr Gallery, and I'll put your Flickr link down here. But yeah. Yeah, it's great. I love the other intended purposes, stuff that are completely outside of the box, And that was some stuff that was really, there's no other pieces on here that are like that, kind of that look like that. Cindy Smith here going on. Cindy Smith was a teacher. There's the Mesa, Arizona convention, right? For you that have been to that show. And I need to remove all these different types of information and links. I don't know if anyone's checking out the galleries these days, like on something like that. People are watching things like Facebook and stuff like that these days, but or Pinterest, not going to a website like this. I should pin some of these things like this though that are in here. This is a 2-inch tile right here, but Cindy used to teach at the Pampered Stamper in Mesa, Arizona. Oh, Flickr. Flickr's an online gallery. It's mostly photo sharing, but I put all my pieces up there, like my still imagery. I put them on the, Facebook as well, but I also put them on Flickr. And what I usually do is I pin from Flickr. I don't usually pin from Facebook, even if you can. Oh, Chris, are you talking about the weird, the cute versus, was it cute versus weird battle that was going on in that? Yeah, yeah, there's a rubber stamp, Mad. Yeah, Sarah, yeah, Spirograph. That's what that looks like, yeah. Okay, Tyra Smith used to do some really fantastic work. Here's some early works right here. I won't go into all these. She has a ton of galleries right here. Tyra Smith is someone that liked working on glossy cardstock, okay? But her application of choice was to use things like, she didn't use sponging or anything like that. She would use things like paintbrushes, you know, soft paintbrushes, and she would dab it onto her scenes. That's why everything kind of has like a real kind of light pastel-y look, because she was applying it in a very pastel-looking format. Yeah. Yeah, Chris, did you show your link to your Flickr gallery? I used to follow Chris's stuff too. I don't know if Chris, are you still going out and doing like the, you know, the drawings and things like that too? But I used to look at all of Chris's latest kind of going, you know, out in the field sketches and drawings out there too. But here's all these different types of things. Look at this kimono card right here. Using Stampscape stamps and kind of pastel types of looks like that. Look at that media down there. The Zig Silver paint pen. Who has the Zig Silver paint pen? I had a Zig glue pen, I think. But, yeah. A lot of glittery types of things like this. Transparency film. Art Institute dries clear. Art Institute dries clear adhesive. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I don't know these things. Art Institute glitter and range number 213. This is just the cloud with rising moon piece right here done in a glitter. I have no idea how she did it, you know. I don't know these things. You guys might know these things right here. Yeah, Froggy Fresh. Yeah, yo, to open up a Flickr gallery. And, you know, you can name it Froggy Fresh or something like that. And you can post pictures on Flickr. Yeah, Urban Sketchers. Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. That's on Facebook, I'm assuming, Chris. But, yeah, Tyra, but, okay, going back to that brush look, but see how soft her applications of colors are? And, again, that's from just taking her brushes, dipping them into the her pads, right? And then just putting them on there like that. So a real soft look in general to her compositions right there. She taught at different stores too in Wisconsin back when. There's free accounts still too there, aren't there, Chris? I think it's only the pro account that's $20. So for the free one, you're just limited to the amount of storage space, I think, that's on there. Debbie, it was silver on one end and gold on the other. Oh, I might have had that pen. Yeah. Yeah, I had one that lasted years, and then pretty soon the tip was starting to fall off, so on mine on one... I wonder if I still have that pen. I usually don't toss anything out unless it's just completely... Okay, I'm not going to go look for it right now. I'm curious, though. Look at this right here. She did something with digital enhancements right here on this scene right here. Yeah. Oh, that's why you stopped on there. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, we used to be able to post a lot more on Flickr. I think it was when Flickr was associated with or linked to Yahoo at the time. So I don't know. They were just going for bodies back then, I think. So I think everything was like free at the time or something. But here's this piece right here, the sequential piece. Like, look at this piece right here, this triptych right here, formatted out like that. I was trying to look for Tyra's big, huge piece. It was an 11 by 14. I do save everything. Well, I don't save everything if it doesn't work. But I do save things that, as long as it's still working, hey, why not? Now, because I'm doing these videos, I tend not to use certain things. Everyone remember dominoes? Stamping on dominoes like that. Yeah, Pinterest definitely is free. But I was looking for those 11 by 17 tabloid size pieces from Tyra. I don't see them right here, but anyways. All right, so let's go down. Mary Sprinkle. Okay, now you know how I'm doing, how I did the, not everyone would know, but I started doing vellum pieces, right, last year. Okay, so Mary was the one that gave me that idea. It had to kind of, you know, whatever, you know, it took over 20 years for it to kind of, set in that I should try something on this vellum. But this is vellum. This is stamped on both sides. So she used colored pencils, I believe. Does it say right here? So these trees are on one side of the vellum, which they're higher in value, right? They're darker. And then that's the meadow used in the background. All that other stuff in the background is on the other side of the vellum, okay? So she is the one to give me that idea. Now, there might have been other people doing it, but I didn't see it. Okay, so yeah, see that? Look at that mountain in the background like that. I think everything else is on the front side right there. She did a little bit of a poem right here, I think. Oh, you worked large format. What, 11 by 17 probably, huh, Chris? Domino's tastes horrible. Hey, I used to work for Domino's. I don't know how they are anymore. But I loved working for Domino's Pizza when I was a kid in high school. My God, we used to make a gazillion. Sometimes we'd do, like, I don't know, must have been 500 covers a night. We had people, I was a dough slapper for the most part. But look at this right here. Look at this beautiful depth right here with that the trees. Here's the tree trunk trio, and there's the tree trunk trio in the background. But look at that depth in there. And, oh, I have her Earthlink address still. Inspired by nature at earthlink.net. Anyone ever have an Earthlink account? Yeah. But look at that vellum right there. Now, I'm using the vellum differently. I'm all hard and stuff like that. I need to do some of these kind of lighter applications like this. And I'm almost certain that this is colored pencil right here. Look at her formatting here with that kind of that burgundy kind of framing. And it looks like she just wrote a little bit of a, yeah, the morning has gold in its mouth. I can't read the, it's a German proverb, I think it says. I don't have my glasses on. Anyone read that right there? Yeah, really fantastic though. So that's your vellum source right there. I've mentioned it before, but sometimes I can't remember the exact name of the person that showed it to me, but I always like to give people credit where credit's due. A lot of my stamps don't work for really big scenes. Really? Huh. I thought they did. These pieces are all 11 by 17 right here. You notice I keep these scenes right here? People ask me, hey, what do you do with your scenes after you're done? And I say, well, I've given them away, but it's hard to ship out, you know, an 11 by 7. Here's this big autumn piece right here. I don't know. They work for me in large formats. The largest piece that I've ever seen. I can probably go show you it right here since I'm doing this kind of Flickr thing right here. Does anyone I might have shared it before or pinned it recently, but let me see right here. Let me go to Flickr if you guys don't mind a quick side. Oh, here's Flickr right here. So here's my Flickr gallery, right? I post everything in there. Some of my son playing piano or whatever. But here's photo stamping. Okay, for if you want to click on one of these, you go to that, and then you go to this right here where you can download it. Okay, there's this little see this little thing right here? You can download that photo, right, to your own computer and print it out. So, all free. I have photos for photo stamping in there. You can get all kinds of photos on the web too, but here's these different albums right here. Okay, I'm going down here, Stampscapes scenes and shows. Here's Stampscapes customer artwork. Jeannie's in there. I might have some of your pieces in there, Chris. But if we go down here, I don't know, it's one of the deeper ones in here. Let's see. Oh, look at this right here. This is a Stampscapes. You can see how large this is. Well, you can't see it in reference right there. Let me go back. You need someone standing next to it to see how big this is. And here's a Stampscape scene right here. This is all Stampscape stands right here, including that mountain, and there's the hills in the back. But this guy created this piece right here at one of the CHA shows. But that's an extreme version of that. But anyways, there's Flickr right there for you. So speaking of that, it's it's one of those things. And I think you can create a free account. It's just going to be limited in terms of the amount of storage you can put on there. But I have people going on there and doing that, without the pro account. At some point in time, they might run out of space though. But look at all these right here. These are all different stamp stores right here. Stamp Heaven, Stamp Bella, Stamp Hysteria, what's the Stamper's Quest e-zine? Okay, the e-zine is no longer up. Stamper Cat Studio, that was a store. Stampin' Express, she carried a lot of Stampscape stamps. Look at this is like stamping on cork right here. And this is 2004, right? So, there was stuff out there at that point in time, but you saw all kinds of different usages of things back when. Here, something has been embossed in silver right here, and that's cool. Simple, and there's the torn. No, that's decal, right? That's a decal scissor or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, don't do the little tree trunks on like 11 by 17, Chris. That wouldn't be the one to do that with. Froggy Fresh's printer needs an exorcism. Does anyone do printer exorcisms here? Melinda, you still have email with Earthlink. That's cool. I see Earthlink addresses come by once in a while. I don't think the Carson show in the current incarnation is going to return. I could be wrong and hope I am wrong about that. If it is, if there is a return, I'm guessing it might be a different coordinator, and I don't know if it would be at the Carson show. Those shows are really hard for the coordinators to put on because look at this scene right here with these hands right here where they have cut that top of that like that and folded the piece of paper over like that. That's not a Stampscapes image right there. Oh, here's the lion right here. So they have the lion right here, and it's like cutting into it, I guess, or something like that. But yeah, cameras and whatnot. Let's see right here. I don't even remember who. Oh, this Heidi right here. Thanks for joining in, Debbie. Good to see you. Have a good rest of evening, night, day. Mike Strong Mike Strong teaches all kinds of stuff with his own line of stamps. He's here in San Diego. You might recognize Mike Strong if you're on Facebook. Take a look at Mike's stuff. I'm friended with him, so I see all of his latest kind of workshops that he's teaching. Going down here, Hanamaja Seko, I'm butchering her name or whatnot, but you used to see her in Rubber Stamp Madness all the time. Let's see here. Oh, I have a Split Coast link for Laurie Thompson. I think I did that recently. Here's the gallery, right? It's not coming up, but the Split Coast pieces came up right here. So I think this is just entering Stampscapes. And I pinned a lot of these from Split Coast today, I think it was. But all kinds of different applications of, Stampscape stuff in here. Here's just one of the quote stamps right here on this one. Nature's the art of God. Right here on this piece right here. So don't forget about Split Coast. A lot of you are probably, more attuned to that than I am. I tend to completely forget about some of that stuff. I saw Fran was in a broadcast, I think yesterday, I thought. So Fran's around, still stamping. Ria Vainman, yeah. Netherlands, right here. Look at this clock right here that she made. And then there's, again, with the Seaside Cove. This is the larger Seaside Cove back then. This is from 2005, right? But pretty cool. I don't see things like clocks and things like that anymore as much going on with this type of stuff. See ya, Meg. Thanks for joining in. Norris Wakamoto used to own the store in Mililani in Hawaii, but you might recognize this color scheme from my first live broadcast if you check that one out, but she did her version of that piece in that same color scheme right there. And going down here, Aldana Wedge, a lot of pieces from her, a lot of separate galleries. Renee Windinger. I used to love her look to all of her pieces right here. And just going down, Linda Yamakito, I see Linda on Facebook once in a while. Rhonda Zimmerman right down here with her piece, Radiant Pearls, Angel Art, Rubber Stamp Gallery, one of the big stores in that whole kind of Georgia, north of Atlanta area. And yeah, really fantastic work. But anyways, that is a tour of the Stampscapes gallery. I probably went over 5% of the people in there and probably 1% of the scenes or whatnot. But that's just a little walkthrough of a lot of the pieces in there. Here's Linda Adams. I see her on Facebook. I posted a piece in the Stamp Junkies group, and she said, "That's nice, but there's no cat in there, LOL." That was her name there, Catlanta, that she went by that because she was in that Atlanta area for a while, or still is. And so I see people still around now and then. Oh, you met Linda at the booth at Carson, really, Chris? Wow. Carson used to be the one, that's for sure. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that'll return there, Melinda, but yeah, used to get people going to that show. That was the show at the time. What year would that have been, Chris, that you would have been, flying out for that or whatnot? And same with Linda. But that was the place to go back then. Now there was, conventions all over the place, but a lot of times in those early years, you get that, or people might be on. Chris, were you ever on those other types of things like AOL and things like that, or the Prodigy group? But you'd get a lot of these groups from these online forums meeting at these different shows. Sometimes they knew them, from chatting every night, but then, they go to a convention and they'd meet each other there. Yeah. Oh, Linda Yamakito. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, Linda's in Southern Cal, so yeah. She used to go pretty much to every show there. I'd see her around. But I think I'd see her in some of these, even the the recent shows, pre-lockdowns and whatnot. I think I would see her. Yeah. Oh, you went late. Okay. Yeah. Well, I hope that whenever you went, Chris, I hope you went. You would have went where there were still probably all the different rooms and things for that show. If we're talking about the Carson convention here. The Carson show wasn't at a convention center. It was a community center, okay? So it really wasn't geared for kind of large shows, but it was just the established location for that show. So there were all these wings and rooms within rooms and the outdoor rooms and courtyards off of rooms within rooms. So it was almost like a labyrinth. So I don't know when, Chris, you went there the first time, but you were probably dealing with kind of a labyrinth of a show. And sometimes people would be going to shows, and maybe at the next show they would go to, and they would say, oh, I didn't even know about the North Wing. So they missed 30 booths or something like that, or 20 or something like that. But they only found out about it back then. But yeah, like the Grapevine, like every other show, unless you were doing one of those shows like a boutique show, it was like an event where there was they would set up like a company in retail stores, and each retail store is in this kind of, antique, kind of a old town area of like some city would have a show, where each booth would be like in a different store. That was like, that didn't happen too often, but there'd be shows like that. But most other shows were in convention centers. But Carson it was a maze of booths and things like that. And when you had like 60 booths or something like that, it was really crazy getting around. Let me see something right here in my Flickr gallery here. Let me see. I had Stampscapes. Let me see if I have those, if I can find those pictures really fast. Where do we go here? Yeah, okay, maybe it was the Stampscapes shows. Okay, let me see right here. I didn't take really great documentation because I was working the shows for a Stamp in the Hand. Oh, here's some different shows right here. Okay, these are booths at different conventions and whatnot. But let me see if I had the Carson shows. Oh, I don't know. It's around here. I'm already boring people, I'm sure, but I have photographs of the Carson show somewhere in here. There's a whole big section of them when I finally got around to posting them. Yeah, okay, I don't know. It's somewhere. It's buried in here somewhere. Maybe if I do a search, Carson Rubber Stamp Convention, probably it'll come up. Or I'll find it right after I log out here. Yeah, okay, I don't know where it is. But I do need to reorganize this whole area, apparently. Let me see. Carson Rubber Stamp. Let me see. Oh, no. Maybe where is it? Oh, okay, yeah. Here's the Carson here. I needed to use the search engine for this, but here's like these different booths here. This is kind of let me see. I have to go back. Okay, I was hoping I can just kind of flip through some of these quickly. Let me see if I can go through it. Oh, okay, yeah, I can. Okay, so here's some of the different wings. So this is in the main room. This one back here was this was in another wing. This is where a Stamp in the Hand was. Here's the outdoor area. They were selling the t-shirts that t-shirt design that I did for them back then. But anyways, this is going back to probably I uploaded in 2017, but this is back in 1991. But, that's a t-shirt design that I did for that show. There's just setting up the show. stamps for sale. This is my booth in, I forgot, North Hall or West Wing or something like that, but that's where I was for years. And that's where we'd do our make and takes. And I think it was all make and takes there because I had all those different areas set up for everyone. But a bunch of pins from that show, that was just the rubber stamp, the Carson show. Those are different shows, each show that I did. And it, grew from there. So a lot of other things there. This is Gil Borgos Borjos doing line drawing caricatures of people, and then you would have those made into stamps if you wanted to. So we met him at this other show that we were doing somewhere. It was like some kind of craft fair or something like that, and he was just doing caricatures. And my boss saw him and had her thing done. She said, "Hey, I can have a stamp made from it." She did. She called him, and we used to have someone drive him over to this Carson show doing these things for them there. So these little pretty cool kind of caricature line drawings. So anyway, so that is that. A little walkthrough again of the Stampscapes gallery. Thanks for joining in, and I have such a fun time chatting with everyone and going back down memory lane and whatever, talking about different media. I need help, obviously, kind of identifying some of those different types of things. Like this is a perfect opportunity for this live stream because I had no idea what people used for like that decollage or whatever, or the different media in there. But yeah, I'm with you, Candy. The craft shows, like Heirloom. I don't know if someone took over those things like that. We don't know about the Carson show. I don't know, like the Mesa show went on recently, and I think the Mesa, Arizona show, and I think the Grapevine show went on. That was an Heirloom Conventions one, so I don't know if someone just kind of took that over or what, but yeah, the stores and the different types of events, are declining, but there's a lot of the shows that are still going on. I think someone just went to they're going to Stampaway. Stampaway USA is still going on. Oh, yeah, it was the other Ohio show. The Akron, Ohio show went on still. Yeah. But, yeah, fun stuff. Thanks for joining in, Beth. Glad you enjoyed hearing all the different stories, Okay, Chris, see, this is perfect here. See, Chris heard that they got bought out by someone. So I would think that would have went on because, a lot of those shows were still, viable and people were still going to them and attending and the exhibitors. So, yeah. I don't know if Carson will come back. But like Chris was saying, Heirloom got bought out. I don't know, maybe Carson, maybe there'll be a different coordinator for it. And I don't know if it would be at Carson. Let's say whoever bought out the Heirloom shows, maybe they'll put on a different show, like not too far from Carson, relatively speaking. There was a show that was put on at the Orange County Fairgrounds one time by Heirloom. Heirloom stopped doing that, but maybe they would do something like that. Or, someone did put on the Carson show again. Maybe they would have it at Carson again. I don't know. But like I said, I don't know. I'm thinking probably not, but I hope it does. That would be the most local show to me. That's, rubber stamping specific one, not a, like a scrapbooking one. But we were doing the Carson show, I don't know, like 2 or 3 shows before all the lockdowns. In fact, we had a show coming up at Carson and one weekend, and on that Wednesday before it got, that's when all the lockdowns happened. So I don't know. Let's hope so, though, because that's a big kind of a stamping community there in terms of the LA and Orange County area there with all the different stampers there. The show started getting pretty small, though, so I don't know. It would need kind of an infusion of some new energy or whatnot, or maybe just the fact that there hasn't been a show there in a while. Maybe they would come out or what, sometime. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did I watch that? I think I did watch that movie. And chowing down on some popcorn. That sounds pretty good. That's making me hungry there, Froggy Fresh. I think I need to go eat. Oh, it's 7:10. Yep, it's dinner time here. Jeannie, thanks for joining in. Well, at least you were here for your kind of your gallery walk. And glad you were able to join in there, Chris. Being that we showcased your both of your galleries there. So yeah, but yeah, it was really small. So hope we get a decent size, at least energy show there, where maybe it goes out in the courtyard area again. I always liked it where it was kind of in the main room and in the courtyard there. But yeah, it all depends on how many vendors would do it too. But they'd have to get the word out too, to everyone and really advertise it. So I don't know, maybe everyone's hungry for a convention again in that area. Okay, so anyways, thanks as always for joining in. I had a really fun time with this one, and it was kind of fun going back and looking through that gallery section and looking at everyone's great pieces in there again. If anyone starts like a Flickr gallery or whatnot, send me a link. If you're posting some pieces in there, and we'll get linked up. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, thanks again. Have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you, and we'll see you on the next live broadcast sometime. See you, Chris. See you, Froggy Fresh.